Hello and welcome. In this video we will talk about the main differences between linked lists and arrays. But before moving to that point, I'd like to tell about a pointer. I'll mostly refer to the C++ pointer. If you need any additional information, you can search in the Google the C++ pointer details. Okay, so what is a pointer? Okay, so pointer basically means the address of the variable. For example, we might have some integer a, which is equal to 3, let's say. And we will also have a pointer p, which stores the address of a. So we can imagine a memory something like a cupboard with a lot of shelves. And when we want to store the variable a, which is an integer, in the memory, we actually store it, let's say, in 101. So these numbers over here are actually the addresses of these memory shelves. So by creating integer a, which is equal to 3, we're just simply saying that at the memory address 101 we will store this value, which is 3. And what does p has inside? So basically p stores the address of the integer a. So p is equal to 101. Why pointers are important? I can make an additional video about that, but this is just for you to know how pointers work. So why are we talking about pointers? Is because we will need them for linked lists. Okay, so what is an array and what is a linked list? Why do we have to use linked lists when we have arrays, which are perfect, amazing, and familiar to us? So every data structure, let it be array, linked list, array list, or hash map, hash set, or whatever, they all have their weak sides as well as strong sides. So now we'll be talking about the strong sides and weak sides of both of them. So the first point is their size. For example, in C++, when you declare an array, it always goes with its fixed size, so the size of the array is fixed. And also array occupies a contiguous block of memory, which means that if you have a memory here, something like this, when you declare, for example, an array of 5 elements, it will allocate some block of memory which is contiguous, meaning that elements are stored sequentially. So if you want to add or remove some element, you actually have to create copies of it and delete the initial ones. So in terms of the space, it's not a good idea, because imagine that you have other variables here and they're stored, and if you want, for example, to make your 5-element array, for example, 1 million element array, so this will basically sometimes will be even impossible because the memory is already occupied, and you have to have like a huge block of memory which is located contiguously. So in terms of that, array loses to linked list, while linked list is better in size because linked list consists of 2 elements. So I'm talking about the single linked list. So it has a key here and it has a pointer here. That actually means that this second element actually stores the address of the next element. So in words, it will look something like this. So for example, if you have a linked list of 3 elements, this will look like this. So first, this is the key and pointer, which points to the next element, which is 2. And this second element points to the next element, which is 3, and third element doesn't point to anything. So in the memory you can actually store it wherever you want. Like if you imagine that this is a memory address, memory space, so actually you can store your first element somewhere here, your second element here, and third element here. And when you try to insert new elements or delete elements, you'll just delete the memory addresses. It's very easy, convenient. Even if you have many elements, it's easy to insert and delete them. And memory storage is convenient too, and you have control over the size, while in the arrays you do not have this property. Okay, so the second difference is in their space allocation or space complexity. So arrays basically, for example, if we take for an example array of integers, like second array of integers 5, 6, 9, and linked lists 5, 6, and 9. So as you can see, arrays have only keys, only elements. So for example, in Java, integers are 4 bytes, so it will be multiplied by 3 elements. It will occupy 12 bytes of memory. But while in case of linked lists, every element has key and a pointer. So this is an additional memory usage. So in this sense, linked lists lose to arrays. And also, I want to make an example which might be very helpful to you. So let's imagine a situation where you want to go to cinema, and in the beginning only 2 of you are going to cinema. Okay, so this is our cinema, and you want to sit together, so you book 2 places, 2 contiguous places, and suddenly your third friend calls you, and so you have to find 3 places. So and 3 of you want to sit together. So and luckily there is the place after one of you is free, and you occupy this area. Okay, and suddenly also 3 of your friends wants to join. So in total you have 6 people. And now all of them, all of you want to sit together too, but unfortunately the places here or here are already occupied. So what you need to do is you have to move to another place where all the 6 seats are available. So you move there, and every time a new person joins you and there's no space here and here, you have to actually move, which is very inconvenient. So the same happens in the memory when you want to insert or delete an element. Okay, but the solution might be that you buy 10 places in the beginning, knowing that some of your friends might join you. Okay, I think it's 10. Okay, you buy 10 tickets, and you have 10 seats altogether, but in the result only 4 of you came, so you occupy this place, this and this, so the remaining 6 are just left empty. And it also kind of is not good for space, because this part of the memory could be used for something else, but you just occupied it without storing anything. So this is a drawback of array. Okay, that's this. I think this is a good example why arrays are not good, and we have to use linked lists. And the next difference is in regard to indexing. So in this point, arrays are actually better because they have indexing properties. So for example, let's say you are reading a book, and you know that your favorite chapter is on 136 page. And if you have an array, you just say, let's say you have an array R, and you just say 136, and you just get the page that you want. Okay, so here we have a nice smile. However, it turned out to be very ugly. Okay, whatever. So the indexing is very convenient at this in this sense, but indexing does not exist in linked lists. In order to have one element, you have to go through all of the elements. For example, we can say that linked lists actually somewhat similar to quests, where you have several points. So you get your instructions here, and then you find the map here. Here you find instructions, and after finding the map you have to go to the next point where you find the key, and after you find the key you actually go to the castle or whatever. So to go to the castle you have to do all the steps, and only then you can go inside the castle. So in case of linked list, this is the disadvantage, because it requires time. So if the element, for example, you have 10 elements, and you are searching for some element, let's say I don't know, some elements. Before finding your element, you have to loop through each element, and only when you find it, you will stop at the point. And it might be the case that the element that you're searching for is the 10th element. So that means you have to loop 10 times over the list to find your desired element. But you might think like actually 10 iterations are not the problem, but it becomes a problem when the size gets bigger. For example, you can imagine, what if you have 1 million elements, so you have to iterate 1 million times, and this is not good. So actually these were all the differences that I have prepared for you between arrays and linked lists, their use cases, bad cases. So in the next video I will implement linked lists according to the course requirements, according to the materials, so you can watch it there. Otherwise, thank you for your attention and happy learning.